One thing you'll notice as you begin to work with OneNote is that it's advantageous to have multiple notebooks open at one time. To have them readily accessible and at your fingertips is a key advantage to working with OneNote. You'll stay organized. There's built-in search functionality to take you directly to specific information in any open notebook. So really, the more open, the better. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about how you close notebooks you're not using and open the ones you want to have open. Here you can see I'm still working with the 3 notebooks that are open for me by default the first time I launch OneNote. I've got my OneNote 2007 guide, I've got my personal notebook, as well as the work notebook that I get just as a default when I launch the application. Now, in each of these notebooks, there are several tabs, and there's information in these tabs and different pages that give you information about how to set up a notebook, whether it be a work notebook or a personal notebook. Or if you need help just learning OneNote, the OneNote 2007 guide is open for you. It has multiple sections and multiple pages within those sections. So the first thing that we're going to do is close up the notebooks that we no longer need. Let's say you're starting to feel comfortable now with OneNote. You don't need this guide open. You don't need the other ones open, but you want to have the ones you're creating or working with open. Let's go up to the File menu, down to Close this notebook, and it's as easy as that. It's closed. It no longer appears here on the left-hand side in our navigation bar. Takes us directly to the next one, which is our personal notebook. Watch what happens though. This is very important in OneNote, something you'll need to get used to. You don't save your changes. They're automatically saved for you. Did you notice that here on our standard toolbar, there's no little diskette icon representing the save command? That's because you don't have to save. And you don't have to worry about losing things that you forgot to save because you don't have to do it. I'm going to add some information here. Store personal information in the section. I'm just going to click here, put in a space, a dash, and a space. And I'm going to type in separate into multiple pages, like so. So I've made a change. I've added some additional text to the title up here on this page in this particular section called personal information. So if I go up to File and I go to Close this notebook, I should be prompted to save those changes. That's probably what you're used to, but you won't be. It was saved the second you typed it. Kind of cool. Takes us to the next one, which is our work notebook. Same thing. Let's close that up. File, close this notebook, and we're left with an empty section. Now, it may look like there are no notebooks open, but really we've started a base notebook here. You can see the section is empty. Click here to create a new page. As soon as I do, I'll have a new page within a new section in a new notebook that I will have to name. Well, we're actually going to create our own a little bit later on. First, though, I want to show you how to open a notebook. Now, if you don't have the exercise files, in other words, you're not a premium subscriber or you don't have this title on DVD and you don't have access to the exercise files, we're just going to open up one of the notebooks we closed. If you do have those exercise files, we're going to open one I've created for you. To do that, we go up to the File menu, down to Open, and now we make sure we select Notebook. You can just open a specific section within a notebook if you wanted to by choosing Section, but I'm going to choose the entire notebook by clicking Notebook. Now it's going to take me to my default directory, which is created, by the way, during installation. It's called OneNote Notebooks, and you're going to find that inside your Documents folder. So your default My Documents or Documents folder, you're going to see these 3. OneNote 2007 Guide, Personal Notebook, and Work Notebook. But don't they look like folders? Well, indeed, that's what they are. And inside those folders are those sections that we saw. Now, if we want to open a specific section, we double click, for example, OneNote 2007 Guide, and we would see the sections. But because we chose Notebook, we don't see any items down below. So I'm going to go back up a level here with my back button. And with OneNote 2007 Guide selected, if you do not have the exercise files, make sure this one's selected and click Open. If you do have the exercise files, you'll just need to navigate to them. I put mine right on my desktop, so I'm going to click Desktop over here. There's exercise files, double click it, and you can see when I double click the Lesson 1 folder, there's one called User Conference 2008. So I'm going to click on that. It again looks like a subfolder, but it's the entire notebook with all the sections. When I click Open, that's what appears on my screen. So I've got the notebook name over here in the navigation bar. I've got several sections: meeting notes, training, speaker section, venue preparations, travel. And here under meeting notes, as I look to the right, I've actually started creating notes for week 1 and week 2. You can see the dates there as I hover over them. When I click on week 1, you can see what happened on September 22nd. Just a few notes on week 2. Some additional notes kind of in a different spot there, but that's okay. And I'm going to go back up to weekly status meeting here. This page, the first page, actually just is kind of like a header telling me that this is a running compilation of notes that I've been taking at each of the status meetings for this user conference. So we're going to continue to build on this scenario of our imaginary user conference for our clients, let's say, and getting ready for that, using OneNote to stay organized and even share and collaborate with others as we move through the lessons in this chapter. Next, we're going to talk about creating a brand new notebook.